this, I think that, what do you think about the situation? As far as politically, I think that, yeah, it's coming very quick. Just because of how the world is right now, the events that are happening. And I just feel like, oh, I know I wanted to ask you.
You said Yah is coming.
Well, the prophecy is going to be fulfilled shortly, I believe. But what I wanted to ask you, I heard that the real Israel is in Tel Aviv. Now, I'm not sure about that. Because they say that, it's Israel, but they saying that the Israel where the Wailing Wall and everything is supposed to be is in Tel Aviv. Now, I'm not.
I was actually thinking about going to visit those brothers over there.
I'm not really versed.
That's Rabbi Hoshea
Okay.
over there, him and his crew. He's a good dude. They're into both books.
Okay.
But Rabbi himself is a pretty good dude. He's a very spiritual guy. I have a lot of respect for him. We don't agree on everything, but I have a lot of respect for him. He knows me.
Okay.
And a lot of the things that he got angry with us one time because we sent every year One Nation County Coalition. That's where I belong to, the One Nation County Coalition.
Okay.
And we send representatives to Israel every year. And because we didn't get his permission or inform him that we was coming, one year he got angry with us and put out a video against us.
Oh.
But he's still my brother. He's alright. He put out a video talking about us in a video. But, all publicity is good publicity.
Yeah? Yeah.
Yeah. He's alright. He's a good dude though. He means well.
I wanted to go there one day myself, actually.
Yeah, I was just thinking about going over there. I may go. I don't know yet.
I don't know, but I'm kind of wrestling with it because they were saying that some people say that we shouldn't go over there to Most High put us over there.
Well,
And then some people say that we should go over there to visit, but not stay. So I'm kind of.
what's wrong with visiting?
That's what I say, but I'm so young in this. I don't, you know what I mean. That's what, and everybody says, no, we ain't supposed to go to the Most High, bring us there.
I got a lot of things that I would like to do with you. That may be one of them. But you got your passport?
No, I'm getting it. I'm getting it this year.
Get your passport.
Cause I would love to go. And I didn't know if everybody saying we shouldn't do it, and then people say we should do it.
Well, why are you listening to people?
Exactly. That's why I said I was gonna bring it to your attention. You know who I listen to. I'm gonna bring it to your attention and see what you had to say.
Listening to people, man.
That's what I said. I'm gonna bring it to your attention. I don't know. I know who's teaching me in this word. I don't listen to everybody. I hear it, but I don't listen to it. There's a difference. I hear it.
Let's discuss something. Let's go to Genesis. First chapter, Genesis. Now, Genesis is one of the most controversial books in the Tanakh.
Okay.
Genesis is named Bereshit. Bereshit means in a beginning. Bereshit bara Elohim et kol hadibarim ha'erev. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashemayim ve et haaretz. In a beginning, Elohim formed the heavens and the earth. Now, it started off that way. I know your books say in the beginning, but that's not the accurate translation of what it says in Hebrew.
Okay.
The Hebrew says in a beginning, not in the beginning. The reason why it says in a beginning, because this is not the beginning of everything. This is only the beginnings of the heavens and the earth. It's deep. I don't know if you really understand what I'm saying. I just said this is not the beginning of everything. This is the beginning of the heavens and the earth. So the next question, just with a rational mind, would be, well, what exists outside of the heavens and the earth?
That was the rest of the solar system.
There's so much more for us to learn. so much for us to learn. But we're locked in because we're so conditioned to believing in what we hear, and we accept that and to be truth and reality. When a lot of times the truth is right before your face and you can't see it. This is letting us know that there's something bigger, greater, better, stronger, more powerful, more vast than the heavens and the earth. Bereshit bara Elohim et Hashemayim et ha'eretz. Ha'eretz is the earth. Hashemayim is the heavens. Bara means to form or to create. Elohim is the word for powers. Bereshit bara, in a beginning, Elohim formed. That don't even say the Creator did it. Now we just in Genesis 1, and we've been on this for a good 5 minutes, and we ain't covered it yet. It don't even say that the Creator formed the heavens and the earth, does it?
No.
It says the Elohim formed the heavens and the earth.
Mm-hmm.
You know why it says that? It's because in the first chapter of Genesis, nothing was created. Everything was formed from something else. See, when you create, only the Creator can create. And the Most High, the Creator of all creation, that tetragrammaton that they use for His name is not introduced until the second chapter. But in the first chapter, everything you read is about Elohim did this, Elohim did that. Everything came into existence, but they didn't come into existence. This is just a blueprint for what is to come. It had to take the approval of the Almighty to cause these things to come into existence, because Elohim by itself does not have the authority or the power to bring things into existence. Elohim is not the Creator necessarily. Elohim is powers, or the heavenly host. That's what Elohim, you are Elohim. I am Elohim. Yisrael are Elohim. You understand? I hope you do.
I do.
This is why in the book of Psalms, the Creator says, Psalms 82, I believe it is, it says, all of you are children of the Most High. It says, you are Elohim, but yet you shall die like man and fall like one of the princes of the earth. You're not man. You are Elohim. You are a God, in so many words, to put it to you so that you'll understand it in a simple term. But you don't know who you are. If you understood the power that you possess in this flesh, in your right mind, see, that's why they had to take it from us. If you understood the power you possess in your right mind, and you will understand why they had to do what they had to do to us to keep us down. Let me give you an example of what I mean by understood in your right mind. When the Egyptians was chasing the children of Israel, they had us cornered and pinned in up against a wall where the sea was behind us. The ocean was behind us. And the army was coming this way. The only thing that separated them from us was a pillar of fire that kept the children of Israel separated from the armies of Egypt. And they was coming. So what do you think the type of mind state we had at that particular time? Our people were fearful, but we wasn't thinking like gods. At that time, we wasn't thinking like gods. Because if we had been thinking like gods, first of all, we wouldn't have fell out of the graces of the Creator. If our mind state was right. There was a few who were there, who thought in a godly state. And I have to use that word godly, not giving reference or creeding to the Creator, but just showing you the type of a power and ability that we have as humans in a human form on the earth. Not as humans, but in the human form. So when this was happening, one man who had a God-like mind went up on the mountains. Did it say he made prayer? What did it say he did? Do you remember?
No. I know he said he went up on the mountain.
And did what?
Did he make prayer? No. It wasn't prayer. Okay. He called out the Yas.
I promise you he made prayer.
Okay.
I promise you he did.
Okay.
But what it says he did was he went up on the mountain. He raised his arms, his staff,
Right.
all day and all night. What was he doing up there? It don't take that long to make prayer to the Creator.
Right.
What was he doing?
Getting the spirit from the Creator.
He got the Spirit from the Creator when he was up in the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights.
True. Yeah.
That's how he came down here and did all those great things that he did.
Right.
What he was doing was calling the forces of creation. He had to summon. The Creator gave us control over everything, not just some things. But we have lost our minds so bad that we forgot. We don't know. We can't imagine.
Genesis.
That's the power of a God to stand up on a mountain and command the waters to move back. What did he really command? He commanded the winds.
To move the water.
That's right. A strong east wind came and blew all night and made a wall in the waters. The waters became dry ground. And you think, when you see the pictures, you think that the people, children of Israel, had to walk down, over, and up. No, they walked straight across on dry ground. The waters were separated and parted where they couldn't flow anymore.
Right.
But the water in front of them became dry ground. People teach you that they walk down.
Yeah.
Because you see the pictures, the movies where they walk down the canal.
Mm-hmm.
No, the waters straight across became dry ground. Read it. It'll tell you, but we don't catch it. But in order to do that, it took the power of a God to do that.
It did.
We're just that powerful and we don't even know it. And the reason is because most of us don't believe that we have that type of ability. I'll give you a small example, something that a lot of us probably experience that's more close at home for a lot of us. When you're married to somebody or you've been with somebody for a long time, you could think something and they can do it. Or they can do something or think it and you can feel it or think or do whatever it is that they're doing or thinking.
Right.
You probably experience it with your wife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just a small kinetic form of energy that's being transferred between the two of you. It's energy. Well, if you get up on a mountain and command the forces of nature, you got to be working on a level that's beyond that of normal man.
Absolutely.
That's the duty of a leader. That's a man that's worthy of leadership. When you're working on a level, your presence alone commands a certain thing from people. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Without you having to open your mouth.
Right.
Just your presence will make it known to people who you are. And a lot of people who are not in tune with the Most High and not in tune with themselves, they will reject your presence because it's not them.
Right.
It will make them feel uncomfortable to be in your presence. That's why a lot of people would always riled up against Moshe. Because he carried it.
That's good.
And he carried it so powerful that when he used to come out from speaking with the Most High, his face glowed white. And the people would just look at him. He had to wear a mask over his head. Read the scriptures. Moshe had to wear a veil over his head. So when you see these movies with Charleston Heston walking around, that ain't Moshe.
I know that ain't Moshe.
And if they want to accurately portray him, they have to put a veil over his head. Because his face shone like radiation. His face was just glowing. That was the Shekinah, or the glory of the Most High upon him, resting upon his soul. You understand? That's why in the ancient days, when they used to paint pictures of people, they would put a halo over their head.
Yeah.
Because of that. Because of the shining of Moshe's face. Read the scriptures. It's in there. When he went into the tent of meetings from communing with the Almighty, when he came out, his face shone. It glowed. It glowed so bright that they had to put a veil over his head. In the mysticism portion of our teachings, there's a place called Ein Suf Ein. It's a sea of light. Kezz is the crown. And this sea of light is a place that exists above the crown. Kezz being the highest order that the physical man, 360 degrees of knowledge, can travel to mystically and receive understanding and still be alive. That's Kether. Now, when you get to that Ein Suf Ein, that sea of light, you have transformed beyond that of the capabilities of normal man. You become more like that God state, that powerful, beyond understanding state. That's what Moshe was. And that's why his face was that sea of light. That sea of light was on his face. That was the reason why it was there. Now, I just dropped some jewels on you. It's up to you to research, to see what it is that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because what I just shared with you is not common knowledge. And anybody who heard that, that understood, that are able to travel in those places, may the Creator be with you. Be careful who you speak to. That's all I say. But that's the type of power that Moshe was working with. That ability to do things and command forces that everybody else couldn't command. These forces command them. When the wind blows, it blows your house down. Let me show you how powerful Moshe was in his godly form. But yet, he was one of the most humble, because what he did was, when you rise to that level of understanding, you still remember all glory belongs to the Creator.
Right.
So you don't take no glory on yourself. Moshe didn't take credit for parting that sea, but yet it was at his words that that sea opened up. Another thing that took place is in Numbers, the 15th chapter. I believe it's the 15th chapter, Numbers. Now you're going to have to make me go check. Yeah, I believe it's Numbers, the 15th chapter, where Korah, the men rise up against Moshe. 16th chapter. Numbers, the 16th chapter. Numbers 15 is talking about fringes. 16 should be speaking about Korah. In Numbers, the 16th chapter, the men rose up against Moshe saying, "Who do you think you are, Moshe?" Like, we didn't vote you in. After all the things Moshe did to verify and prove his existence, his position, and his love and loyalty to the Creator and his servitude unto the Most High's people. Numbers, the 16th chapter. The people still didn't want to give him his promise. So Korah, and I think it was 260 men, a whole lot of men, rose up against Moshe. Now, when you got that many people rising up, they got to be right? They got to be right.
You're right.
And there's Moshe, his brother, and his little sister on the squad, they can't be right. When you got 200 men, they got to be right. So anyway, they rose up against Moshe. Now, I'm just saying this to show you the power that Moshe displayed. Moshe let the Creator do this thing himself, so they say. He says, okay, these men are rising up saying, you usurp this you take too much on yourself, Moshe. You think you the man. You know, that's what they said about Moshe. So Moshe said, well, I'll tell you what, we let the Most High decide. That's the same thing I say. Let the Most High decide. You take your ride, and we take our ride, and we'll leave it in the tent and come back tomorrow. And whoever ride is butted. And that's how we know the one who the Most High chose. And he says, but this is the thing. Tomorrow, after that day, the Creator's going to perform something like he's never performed ever before in the earth. The earth opened up and swallowed. You didn't read that?
Opened up and swallowed.
Oh, you didn't read that?
No.
Oh, you didn't. We're going to read that then. We're going to leave Genesis alone, because Genesis is too mysticist. So we're going to deal with this.
Swallowed.
The earth opened up and swallowed Korah and all of the men that was with him, to prove to the people that the Most High was with Moshe.
Wow.
Let's read it. Let's go there. Let's go there.
15.
Numbers, the 16th chapter.
15.
Now, Korah was a Levite.
Okay.
He had every right to lead the people. But he wasn't satisfied in his position of speaking and leading and teaching the people like a lot of men out here. A lot of men on YouTube think they leaders. A lot of these people, they think they can teach the people when they just out of kindergarten school. They just learned about the Most High. They didn't even graduate from Christianity yet. But yet they teaching the Most High's people. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's you taking a lot on yourself. You need to shut the book, keep studying.
Exactly.
I watched one brother teach, and this brother was teaching the people while he was learning. Oh yeah, I didn't know that said that. Oh, wait a minute, God, that wasn't right. I know I said such and such, but here we go.
No,
That's not how you teach the Most High's people.
No.
You better have an understanding of a thing.
Exactly.
First of all, you better be called by the Almighty to be a teacher.
Mhm.
Because if you're not, He's going to expose you. All right, let's read on. You want to read?
Okay, we started.
Number 16 and 1.
Now Korah, the son of Izhar, and the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Dathan, and Abram, the sons of Eliab, and on the son of Peleth, sons of Reuben, took men.
They all took men. Now that was like 4 men. And each one of them took men. So watch what happens.
And they rose up before Moses with this. He rose up before Moses with the certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes.
200 and what?
250 princes.
Now they wasn't just regular men. These were the men that the people trusted.
Right.
These was princes of the people.
Yeah.
You understand? 250 princes of the people. That's some powerful. That's a powerful squad right there.
Yes, it is.
Who can you not convince with princes on your team?
Yeah,
250 of them. So watch what happens. Who'd ever thought they were wrong? Watch what happens.
250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation.
Famous.
Men of renown.
Men of renown. These was like this was like some powerful Israelite men.
Yes, sir.
Like we all had respect for these individuals. There was 250 of them. Read on, watch what happened.
And they gathered themselves together against Moshe and against Aaron, and said unto them, take too much upon you, saying all the congregation are holy.
Everybody is holy. And that's what they just got finished saying to me just now a few minutes ago. Come on, play your mind back. You know you said that. Everybody in Israel is holy.
Right?
What's wrong with you, Prince? But we ain't going to make this personal. We're going to keep this about Moshe.
Every one of them.
Probably going to sit back and tell me I can't teach. Prince must be crazy. I'm a teacher, Prince. No, you're not. Shut the book. Sit down. You got a long way to go to reach. Well, if you're a Moray, who made you a Moray? Or did you make yourself a Moray? If you're a prince, who made you a prince? Or did you make yourself a prince? The Cohens had to be anointed. So if you're a Cohen, who anointed you? Let's think, family. Let's think. Who anointed the first Cohen? Moshe. Read on, please.
Saying all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them.
All the people are holy. Everybody can go to the Creator for themselves, Prince. You sit there telling this brother he need to go pray to a man of the Creator. He need to ask a man of the Creator to make prayer on his behalf. Yeah, you should. Honestly, you should. Well, Prince, that's Christianity. No, it's not. That's the Hebrew culture. The Most High spoke to the children of Israel one time on the mountain. The children of Israel said, if you look in the book of Genesis, Exodus, the 20th chapter, somewhere around the 25th, 26th verse, the children of Israel said, Creator, don't never speak to us again. We don't never want to hear your voice again. Speak to us through Moshe. And ever since then, the Most High chose a man to speak to the people through. And that's why we have prophets of the Almighty. Prior to that, we didn't have no prophets.
Right.
But after that, we had prophets. And that's because the children of Israel refused to hear the voice of the Creator. It's true. We are a nation of priests unto the people. We are. And it is true that we are all holy unto the Most High. It's true. Okay? But we told the Most High, we don't want this job. We don't want it. We know that this is who we are, but Father, we don't want it. Because when the Most High spoke, his voice was so terrifying that it scared, frightened the people. That's why when the Most High speaks, he usually speaks to us in visions and dreams.
Right.
Because it's more easy to get our attention. But a lot of people that the Most High speak to, being regular people, they refuse to hear his voice because they're not accustomed to the Most High's voice. Read on, let's see where we at.
Wherever
We're in Numbers, the 16th chapter. Verse 6, where we at?
we at verse 3. Well,
Verse 3, okay.
Yeah. Wherefore then lift ye up yourselves above the congregation of the Lord. And when Moses heard it, he fell upon his face, and he spake unto Korah and unto all his company, saying, even tomorrow the Lord will show who are his and who is holy.
Hold on for a second. It says in the 4th verse, when Moshe heard this, see, this man he is humble amongst humility.
Right.
He has a display of humility far beyond that of mortal man. When Moshe heard, they said, who do you think you are, Moshe? Raising yourself. He humbled himself and backed out of the situation. Said, okay, y'all got this.
Mm-hmm.
He got down on the ground and he made intercession and prayed.
Yes, he did.
He showed humility. He says, listen, I'm not taking this upon myself. He don't have to prove nothing to nobody. Like people gonna say a whole lot of things about this and call me all kind of names and say all types of things about you and I and however it is, we ain't got to prove ourselves to nobody.
Right.
Let the Most High speak for himself. And he will. I promise you, he will. Well, what did he say? Moshe fell upon his face to the earth. And watch what happens. And he spake unto Korah and unto all his company, saying, even tomorrow the Creator will show you who are his and who is holy. Go ahead, read on, please.
And will cause him to come near unto him, even him who he has chosen will he cause to come near unto him. This do, take your censers, Korah, and all this company, and put the fire within, and put the incense in them before the Lord tomorrow. And it shall be that the man whom the Lord doth choose, he shall be holy. Yea, take too much upon yourselves, ye sons of Levi.
You take too much upon yourselves, you sons of Levi. They were Levites. Kohath. He was a Levite. Read on, please.
And Moses said unto Kohath, hear, I pray you, ye sons of Levi, seemeth it put a small thing unto you, that the God of Israel has separated you from the congregation of Israel.
He gave them a great job in the nation. He separated them from a holy separate people, set apart people. He set them apart within the midst of a set apart people.
Right.
That's a powerful job.
Yeah.
But that wasn't good enough for them. They wanted Moshe's job. You see? How many people you know right now want the limelight?
Right.
They got to be in the front, the forefront. You know what I mean? Or they, every Shabbat, they got to be up in the front of the class, or they got to be at the podium, or they got to be teaching, they got to be standing up, or they got to be on Facebook posting all kind of posts to downgrade somebody else because they got a little bit of knowledge. That's not the way this goes.
Right.
That's a haughty spirit. And if they're not careful, the Most High will remove them or find a way to slow them down. Believe me. You find something, you share it with a form of humility, not in a form of arrogance.
Right.
Read on, please.
To bring you near to himself.
Tell them where you at.
Oh, right now. We're at Numbers chapter 9.
Chapter what?
Chapter 9.
Chapter what?
Chapter 9.
No, we're not.
Oh, no, we're not. Wait a minute. Numbers. Chapter 15, verse 9. Excuse me.
Chapter what?
Chapter 15.
We're in Numbers chapter 16.
Oh, no, it wasn't there.
Chapter 16,
16.
verse 9.
Verse 9. Okay. To bring yourself near to himself, to do the service of the tabernacle of the Creator, and to stand before the congregation to minister unto them. And he hath brought thee near to him, all of thy brethren, the sons of Levi, with thee, and seek ye the priesthood also.
Well, wait a minute. You could be a Levite and not be a priest.
Okay.
Did you know that?
I didn't know.
Yeah. The priest had to come out of the lineage of Aharon, or Aaron.
Okay.
But Aaron comes from the lineage of the priests as well.
Mm-hmm.
Levi was a son of Israel, one of his sons. And all of his descendants are Levites.
Mm-hmm.
Out of that lineage, Kohath came out of that lineage, but also Moshe and his brother and his sisters came out of that lineage. They just came out of uncles.
Okay.
They was all related, cousins, some kind of way. But in order for you to be a priest, you had to come out of the lineage of Aaron or Aharon. But Kohath didn't come out of the lineage of Aharon, so he couldn't be a priest.
Right.
So even within the sanctioning of the priesthood from the people, there was another separation within the priesthood who we have as high priest. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That high priest had to come out of Aharon.
Okay.
That priest or high priest had to come out of Aharon. Okay? Read on.
For which cause both thou and thy company are gathered together against the Creator. And what is Aaron that ye murmur against him? And Moses sent to Dathan and Abram, the sons of Elad, which said, we will not come up.
So he called for them. He said, y'all come on up. They said, no, nigga, we ain't coming. They said, no, we ain't coming up. He said, yo, y'all come on up. They said, no, who you think you are? You gonna tell us what to do? You know how people do?
Yeah, that's true.
Like the Maureen that I just got finished talking to that's overnight teachers and overnight priests and princes. Overnight. You can't do that.
No.
Well, Prince makes you think. That's how they come, and they showing their arrogance instead of showing humility, saying, you know what, the brother's right.
Right.
He's right. I've just been in this 2 years. Or the knowledge that I have has been shared from somewhere else. I'm just out of the New Testament 2 weeks ago. They don't take that into account. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
They don't think like that. They think I'm great and I'm mighty, I'm high. And I can teach who I want to teach, and Prince can't tell me who I can't teach. But let the Most High show them who they can't teach.
Yeah.
A loose cannon is a loose cannon. It'll bring about more destruction than it will blessings. Believe me. Read on, please.
Is it a small thing that thou hast brought us up out of the land that floweth with milk and honey to kill us in the wilderness, except thou make thyself altogether a prince over us?
So they said to Moshe, you making yourself a prince over us. It's not a small thing that you brought us out of the wilderness just to kill us, but you will also be ruler over us too. See, when you got that title prince, that means a lot.
Right.
It's supposed to mean a lot. But what good is the title if your people still dying and suffering? You have to exemplify the actions of a prince. You understand? As a leader, quality leadership, in order to raise, like we spoke about, raising people off drugs, off the sickness, off prostitution, off idolatry, raising them up to a higher level of understanding. Then you're worthy of a title of prince. Other than that, you're just fooling yourself.
Right. Moreover, thou hast not brought us into the land that floweth with milk and honey, or given us inheritance of the fields and the vineyards. Wilt thou put out thine eyes of these men? We will not come up.
Now stop for a second. He said that you didn't bring us into the land that flowed with milk and honey, or vineyards. You didn't do it, Moses.
Right.
So why are you making yourself a leader? The reason why Moses didn't do it was because the people rebelled against Moses.
Exactly.
Just like a lot of people today. They rebel. When you tell them that JC ain't got nothing to do with this, they're not trying to hear that.
Right.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
They will fight with you tooth and nail and then wonder why we're in the conditions that we're in today. When you tell a woman, listen, sister, you got to obey your husband. He's the head of your household. She says, no. Then you wonder why we're in the condition we're in today. When you say to a man, yo, brother, you can't be screwing and having sex with all these women and not making them your wives and not being able to support them, not having a job to financially take care of your family. Or when you say to a brother, yo, brother, those are your kids over there, go get them. They don't want to hear what you got to say.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But they'll sit back and cast judgments and ridicule you in so many different areas and try to look for fault. Like I ain't got my kufi on today, or I'm not dressed in the proper attire today, so I can't be teaching. Well, I do got my fringes on in case you want to throw punches at that. This is how we roll, though, because of our condition of our minds. They're not listening to the words or the knowledge that's coming and issuing forward out of my mouth. They too busy looking at this, the flesh, which ain't got nothing to do with it, because this is going to decay.
Right.
But truth lasts forever. Learn to never defend a lie. Don't defend a lie. Reject the lie and gravitate toward truth. Read on, please.
And Moses was very wroth and said unto the Creator, respect not thou thine offering. I have not taken one.
What did he say to the Creator? He didn't ask nothing of the Creator.
Mm-hmm.
He said to the Creator what?
He said to the Creator, I have not taken one.
No, that ain't what he said. Back up. What did he say to the Creator?
And Moses
is my man.
Moses was very wrong and said
Moses
unto
got
the Lord,
angry.
respect.
And what did he say to him? He said to who?
The Creator.
He said to the Creator. What did he say to the Creator?
He said, respect not thou thy
Creator,
offering.
don't accept their offering.
Yeah, that's what he
That's
said.
what he said.
That's what he said.
So who had the power at that particular time?
Moses
gave the Creator gave Moses the authority to allow other men to be blessed through him.
Right.
You understand? That not that Moses was more powerful than the Creator and telling the Creator what to do, but the Most High gave Moses his authority on earth.
Right.
You understand it?
Mm-hmm.
Moshe said, Creator, don't accept their offering.
Right.
He got mad with him. And that's what he did. He didn't do this. He didn't say, oh, Creator, I'm coming to you and I'm asking you, please don't. He said, Creator, don't accept their offering.
That's what
I'm sure it was in a much humbler way.
Right.
But it's a reason why they say he got angry.
Yeah.
He got wroth. That
He
means
got
he got angry in a raw way. And he cut it loose.
Yeah.
He said, Creator, don't accept their offering.
Yes, he did.
Because if you do, that means that all that I did was in vain. That's what he said. Read on, please.
I have not taken
What verse
one.
you at?
Oh, right now I'm at verse 15.
He said, because I didn't do what?
I have not taken one ass from them.
They didn't give me anything.
Not one ass.
They didn't give me nothing, Creator.
Nothing.
I didn't accept anything from them. Read on. What else it say?
Neither have I hurt one of them.
And I didn't do anything to them. All I did was told you the truth. That's right.
Right.
That's all I did was told you the truth. You either accept it or you reject it. That's between you and the Creator. All we did today was share wisdom with you. You either accept it or you reject it. Shave. Akshay. Read on, please.
And Moses said unto Korah, be thou and all thy company before the Creator, thou and they and Aaron tomorrow, and take every man in his censer, and put incense in him, and bring ye before the Creator every man his censer, 250 censers, thou also, and Aaron, each of you his censer. And they took every man his censer, and put fire in them, and laid incense therein, and stood in the door of the tabernacle of the congregation with Moses and Aaron. And Korah gathered all the congregation against them unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the glory of the Creator appeared unto all the congregation.
Oh, see, this is what I love. See, the Most High, at this particular time, showed his presence in a way that was undeniable. Everybody got to see it. Just to have that room fill up with smoke the way that it did.
And can't deny that. That's tangible.
Because this is going to get me too excited, and I'm trying to maintain my composure. Read on, please.
And the Creator spake upon Moses and unto Aaron, saying, separate yourselves from among this congregation.
Separate yourselves from them. Move on the other side of the room. They are disrespectful highly. Sit over here. I got something for you. Sit over here. Now watch what I do to them. Read on, please.
That I may consume them in a moment. And they fell upon their faces and said, O Creator, the Creator of the spirits of all the flesh, shall one man sin, and will thou be wroth with all the congregation? And the Lord spake unto Moses,
Now
saying,
stop for a second. Moshe was already angry. And the Most High just said to him, move over here. I'm going to destroy these people who came up and got Moshe angry.
Right.
But in all that hostility, Moshe still was humble enough to ask the Most High for mercy for these people.
Yes, he did.
He said, Creator, will thou destroy all these people for the sake of one or a few? Creator, don't do so, please. So he could have been a boastful man. Yeah, Creator, get them all. Show I'm your man, Creator, but he didn't do that. Because his spirit is not like our spirit. You understand?
Right.
Our minds are so far removed from righteousness that even our greatest act of righteousness is a very small thing according to the will of the Almighty. We got so much work to do.
Right.
So much. Read on, please.
Speak upon the congregation, saying, get you up from about the tabernacle of Korah.
The Creator was about to destroy everybody because of the sake of two people, Moses and Aharon. Because they spoke out against Moses and Aharon. See, a couple of weeks ago I gave a lesson about how you are to treat the servants of the Almighty with respect and honor. And here it is again, another example in the Torah where you are to show respect and honor to those who come in the Most High's name. The Most High was ready to destroy everybody.
Right.
And Moshe said, oh no, Creator, don't do that. Now that's a man worthy of leadership. A man that cares about your safety, your life, your health. And the lives of your children as well.
Just like when Abraham pleaded for Sodom and Gomorrah.
That's right. You understand? A man worthy of leadership. You got a lot of leaders out here today. The brother Farah put out a video out, posted it on my page, where he talks about a lot of leaders that build these places for their own benefit. Right. They get the money from the people and build these large houses of worship, but it's really for themselves. Those are not the type of men that you should be walking with. You understand? These are the type of men that you should walk with. Now the brother Farah, for having that type of understanding, shows that he's worthy. You understand what I'm saying? Or that he's ready. Let's put it that way.
Right.
That he's ready. The humility that he displays shows that he's ready. And when he makes that transition that he has to make, he's going to be a great teacher. Believe me, I like to be the first one to make him a more ready. You know, if the Creator allows us to cross paths. Right. But he got a lot of traveling to do before he leaves his understanding where he is. Because he has a spirit of humility. Read on before I get sidetracked again, man.
Get up from the tabernacle of Korah, Dahan, and Abraham.
So the Most High gave them a chance. The Most High says, all right, all of y'all who ain't on their side, stand over here.
Right.
And everybody that's on their side, stand over there. See, the Creator allowed Moshe to give them an opportunity to get on the right side of righteousness. So that they're not consumed with the evildoers. The Most High is doing that right now.
Yes, he is.
He's doing that right now. And a lot of people are waking up. They're still holding on to a lot of other doctrines. We think that the coming into the knowledge of that you're a Hebrew is you waking up. That's just the beginning. Then you got to know that the Creator is one. And you got to begin to live your life as the Creator is one. And that he has no partners. That's what Moshe is saying right now. All y'all with partners, over there.
Right.
All y'all who want to be by yourself, know that the Creator is just one, over here. Basically, he said he chose them. If you choose them, you die with them.
Right.
You choose JC, you get hung on the cross with JC.
Basically.
In so many words.
Basically.
Read on, please.
And Moses rose up and went unto Dahan and Abraham, and the elders of Israel followed him. And he spake unto the congregation, saying, Depart, I pray you, from the tents of these wicked men, and touch nothing of theirs, lest ye be consumed in all their sins.
Let me drop a jewel on you. And I know you're going to remember this jewel when I drop it. Why did he tell them not to touch anything of theirs?
Oh, all right, because if you touch something of it, that spirit, if you touch something of that, then you already touched on this. If you touch something from that spirit, then that spirit will come upon you.
That's right. You can take people's spirit upon you by having their belongings.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly why Moshe, see, this is a powerful book when you really, really read it. You shouldn't have anything in your home that you got from a Christian's home.
Yeah.
If you got a Christian that's a brother or a sister or a mother or a cousin or anybody in your acquaintance, you should have nothing in their home unless you paid them for it and released their spirit from it before you brought it in your home. A lot of us, we're having chaos in our homes right now, in our families. A lot of times it's because a lot of the things that we might have in our house, somebody might have gave you a gift, a possession. These things are real. That's why Moshe spoke on it. They'll give you a gift, but that gift contains their spirit. If they went out and brought it, it contains their spirit unless they stole it.
Right.
And if they stole it, then it's the spirit of whoever it belongs to. And every inanimate object has a spirit of its own as well. A lot of people don't understand that, but it's a fact. So the process is, if somebody gives you a gift, that's the thing about Christmas, see? That's why another reason why the critics say you shouldn't do Christmas. If somebody gives you a gift, unless you pay for that gift, then their spirit is on that gift.
Right.
So you would actually be bringing their presence or a portion of their essence in your home.
And if they not with Yah,
And if they not with the Creator,
that's bringing demons.
that's
and stuff
bringing
in your
demons
home.
and negative spirits in your home. Sometimes you wonder why your relationships are failing. It's because of the people that you talk to, that you hang around with, and that you associate with, those demons or negative spirits that's on them. Let me say negative energies. Those negative energies that's on them will transfer into you, and you won't even recognize it. You won't even know it. Until one day you rouse up and you find yourself separating from the love of your life that you never thought you would leave. A lot of times it comes by way of televisions. If you're a woman or a man who watches a lot of negative television shows about adultery, about homosexuality, about divorce, about men and women going back and forth and children killing each other and women killing their husbands and husbands killing their women, if you find yourself constantly watching these type of things, spirits attack you through your eyes, your ears, your nose, and your mouth. That's how they attack you. But primarily, basically, the most successful way is through your eyes and your ears. Through what you see with your eyes, what you hear with your ears. Is how spirits come upon you. And they reside within you. You see? So unless you know to combat that stuff and get that stuff away from you by watching those television shows, listening to that nasty music, that devilish stuff, unless you have protected yourself against these things, you are inviting these spirits to come in and to possess you. And they do it subtly. It don't just happen as soon as you get away from television. It formulates in your mind over a period of time. And the next thing you know, you want to break up with your husband. Or you want to commit lesbianism. Or you want to be a homosexual. Or you want to go out and steal something. Or you want to eat a pork chop. You know what I mean? These things are real. But we don't understand that this battle that we're in is a spiritual battle. It is truly a spiritual battle that we are fighting today. Moshe understood it was a spiritual battle. And it's contagious. That's why Moshe said, do not touch nothing of theirs. Stay out of their camp. Stay away from them. Get you on this side, matter of fact, and let them get over there. Read on and let's see what happens.
So they gave up.
So they what?
So they gave up from the tabernacle of Korah, Daham, and Abram, and every side at Daham. Abram came out and stood in the door of their tents, and their wives, and their sons, and their little children. And Moshe said, hereby ye shall know that the Creator has sent me to do all these works.
Then watch this. What did he say?
For I have done nothing. I have done them of my own mind.
He said, I ain't did these on my own mind,
No,
like y'all accuse me of. He said, for this day you shall know that the Most High has sent me.
Right.
That's the way you prove and verify. Just that simple. Read on, please.
If these men die in the common death of all men, or if they be visited after the visitation of all men, then the Creator hath not sent me.
If these men die of a normal death, they grow old and they die, or they have a heart attack, or they have a stroke, or they fall down on the ground and can't get back up, then you know that the Most High hasn't sent me.
Right.
Because all men die that normal death.
Right.
But if something great and preposterous happens to these men,
Then you know.
then you know. Read on, please.
But if the Lord make a new thing, and the earth open her mouth and swallow them up with all that pertaineth unto them, and they go down quick into the pit, then ye shall understand that these men have provoked the Creator.
Wow. See, earlier I said that Moshe caused the earth to open up. But he gives all credit to the Almighty. How was he able to tell what was going to happen? You know, what he did was he confessed at that moment what his prayers was or his request to the Almighty. He put it on the line. He says, listen, brothers, if the earth don't open up and swallow thee, he never said the Creator told me this. Right. He never said, thus saith the Lord, or the Creator told me. He says, if the earth doesn't open up. Now, he's just that confident that the Most High is on his side. Wow. And he knows how powerful the Most High is. He says, listen here, all y'all who disagree that I'm the prince of the people. That's what he said, right? They said, you ain't no prince. He said, yeah, I'm the prince. He said that. For all y'all who disagree that I'm the prince of the people, he says, before the people, he make an acclamation. He says that the earth is going to open up and swallow these men, that they go down to hell. That's what he said, to the grave. The grave is Sheol, Sheol is the grave. The grave is hell.
Yes.
That they go down to hell in one. That's what he said.
Wow.
He said, if they don't, then the Most High hasn't sent me. Just that simple. I mean, this brother speaks with the confidence of God.
Yes, he does.
Because he has the mind of a God. You understand?
That's deep right there.
He has power and authority that only the Most High gave him. And he knows it. He understands it. It is us who don't know the ability that we have.
I need to get to that point right there.
It's us.
That
requires a lot of sacrifice, brother.
Yes.
A lot of us don't want to make those sacrifices. You got to fast daily. You got to pray all the time. You got to sacrifice yourself of things that you desire over things that you know you shouldn't have. You know, that's one of the man's problems that we have today. We desire things that we know are not good for us. And we have to master that inclination within ourselves. We have to master that. We know it's not good for us. I read a brother's post one day. The brother says that he had a problem looking at girls. He says he recognized that it was a weakness, that he understood it was a weakness, but these women are built so good. And the Creator put that in us. Man, the Creator says that he put these things in our lives to test us, to prove us. When you rise above that in your spirit, in your essence, you see a sexy woman walking past with a nice basar, a nice body, a nice shape, it won't bother you. It won't bother. You'll go home to your woman and appreciate everything about her. And you'll love her form and her shape, and you'll appreciate it. When you see those half-naked women on the streets, you will really think, why, to yourself, is she on these streets like this?
And since I come into this truth, not to cut you off, since I come into this truth, I said I was one of those guys. I used to love seeing the girls, but now it kind of disgusts me a little bit now when I see the girls dressed like that. I don't, you know what I mean? Now, before I used to say, wow, oh my goodness. Like I said, I'm attracted to females that dress modestly now. And I mean, that's where it is. Even though I have my female, but like I don't, with girls walking around, I don't like that no more.
That's true.
I don't like it.
I mean, no one has a problem seeing what you see but it causes you to question why she's doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what was it for? For attention? You know, I mean, what is your reasons? That shows your elevation, that shows your growth, your spiritual development. That's what it shows. So read on, please. Let's clear this up.
And it came to pass, as he had made an end of speaking all these words.
What verse are you on?
I'm on 31 right now.
Numbers 16 and 31?
Yes, sir. And it came to pass, as he had made an end of speaking all these words, and the ground clave.
Wait a minute! As soon as he got finished, so he ain't give him no other opportunity to correct himself. So you gotta watch it, family, because sometimes you only got one chance to get it right.
Man, gave him that one opportunity in the beginning. You come over here, or you go over there.
Yep.
That was
Sometimes
it.
you only get one chance to get it right. And if you don't make that right decision, man, the Creator will just may remove you. And you may not have that opportunity to get it right again. So as I say that, I think about people that the Most High put through hard times in their lives, like send them to jail, cause them to break up with their woman, just remove them, get them fired. A lot of times those things you look at as bad things. It's the Most High trying to do something positive for you, but because it's uncomfortable for you, you look at it as a bad thing. Use a different set of lenses when you see your problems and your situations in your life. Don't always necessarily look at this as something bad, but look at it as opportunity. You separate from your job, it's time for you to start working for yourself. Find something that you love and start doing it. Don't let yourself be a slave to no job where nobody can pull the strings over top of you and say, you're not going to work today. You can't work today. We firing, we laying you off. We're getting rid of you. We don't need you no more. So don't let that happen to you. When you're in a relationship and she puts you out and you get away from her, you're going to hurt in the beginning. But I'm telling you, brothers or sisters, vice versa, look at it through a different set of lenses. That maybe this wasn't for me. Maybe something greater is waiting, and I promise you, you'll get something greater.
Yeah,
I promise you.
That's usually when stuff like that happens. I try to look at it as if God did that for a reason.
He
did
does
that to
things
take
for a
me
reason.
somewhere else that I wasn't doing. He got something else for me. That was whatever
That's right.
it was at the time wasn't for me. I didn't see it,
That's
but
right.
he said it wasn't for me, so he got something else for me. That's why he took whatever I was going through, took it out of here, and now he's focusing me into what he has for me.
That's right.
Not what I thought I had for myself, but what he got.
It's not always a punishment. Oftentimes it's the Most High trying to do something for you, but he has to set you in a place by yourself first before you recognize it. Now, if you get laid off on your job and you go right out and look for another job, then maybe you don't want to be free.
Right.
Because to work for yourself or to have your own business, you're free to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
You're free to go where you want, do what you want, be with, like right now. It's just a freedom.
Right.
You know, I'll put my business out in the streets, but it's just a form of freedom that most don't get to experience. You take advantage of that freedom and you utilize it to the best of your ability. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of us, we get laid off and we rush right out to go slave for somebody else. And it's not good.
Right.
Especially if the Most High allows you to get laid off. It happened for a reason. And you have to think about it. Some of you who are unemployed and can't find a job is because you're using the wrong lenses. Maybe you're not supposed to work for somebody else. Maybe you're supposed to work for yourself. So sisters, sometimes you got to encourage a man to start his own business. Or you start your own business and the two of you work together. That's what we used to do in the ancients of days. What does it say about the Proverbs 31 woman? It says something special about her. She wasn't just sitting around the house and she started her own business. She went out and found ways to make money. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
She could have been a lazy woman,
Right.
a no good woman, or I can't even say that would make a woman no good or lazy. She may have been a woman that just sat around the house and cooked and cleaned, but she was an industrious woman. She wanted to get her hands dirty and make her own money in a way that she can contribute to her household. And she did just that. She was a perfect woman. Wasn't nothing lazy about her. She wasn't no slouch.
Right.
A lot of women today will let you go out You want to be the man? All right, be the man. And they'll sit home and do nothing. You come home, your house is dirty, it's nasty. She's sitting upstairs and she tell you to cook when you get in the house.
How about that?
A lot of men don't know how to be men, and they need to help in correction. They sit around all day, watch the kids, while the woman goes out and slave and work, and they playing video games. She leave, they on the video game. She come back, they on the video game. I mean, this is real. Or they watching football, baseball, basketball. They can tell you everything about the sports channel, but they can't go out and get a job. Maybe they need to get industrious and find a job that they can be happy and content with, that they ain't got to worry about losing their job over. I've spoken in my position as a prince. I do a lot of counseling with a lot of women and a lot of men, and I have to talk to a lot of people. And what I've noticed is that a lot of our sisters are having these relationships with men who don't provide for them, who don't do the job of a man. They'll sex him, they'll pump him up with a couple of babies, and then a few years later, they're divorced. Or they're separated. They go their own separate ways. She go on to another man. She's still carrying those babies from that last relationship. Not no woman of mine. I'll take mine.
Exactly.
I will take mine. Believe me, the proof is here. Good.
I've done the same.
That's how real men get down.
I've done the same
That's
thing.
right.
I know.
And all of my sons that I raise, same way. They will take all of them
Exactly.
and let you go ahead a fresh start like you want. But the man's responsibility is to provide for the family, but a lot of men don't do that. Like I said, you have to get industrious with things that you like, and you have to begin to do those things. And this shows forth your manliness. Okay? Read on, please.
And it came to pass, as he had made an end of the speaking of all these words, and the ground clave asunder that was under them, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up, and their houses, and all the men that
Murmured.
until, because they got crazy words. I don't know what this is.
What verse you on?
32.
Appertain.
Appertain to Korah and all the goods. They and that all pertain to them went down alive into the pit, and the earth closed upon them, and they perished from among the congregation. And all Israel that were round about them fled at the cry of them. For they said, lest the earth swallow us up also. And they came out of the fire from the Lord, and consumed the 250 men that offered incense. And the Creator spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto Eli.
But watch what happens after this. Because a real powerful thing is getting ready to take place. The people is going to become angry that Moshe did this. They understand that this was the power that Moshe had, his ability.
Right.
And the people are going to start coming up against him, speaking bad about the Creator. Watch what happens. And Moshe, in all his humility, watch what he does real quick.
Speak to Elijah, the son of Aaron, the priest, and he take up the censers out of the burning, and the scatter thou the fire yonder, and they are hollow. The censers of these sinners against their own souls. Let them make them broad plates for a covering of the altar, for they offer them before the Creator. Therefore they are hollow, and they shall be a sign unto the children of Israel. And Eleazar, the priest took the brazen censers wherewith they were burnt, had offered, and they were made broad plates for a covering of the altar, to the memorial unto the children of Israel, that no stranger which is not of the seed of Aaron come near to offer incense before the Creator, that he be not as Korah and as his company, as the Lord say unto him, be thy hand of Moses. But on the marrow of the congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moshe and against Aaron, saying, Ye have killed the people of the Creator. And it came to pass that the congregation was gathered against Moshe and Aaron, and they looked toward the tabernacle of the congregation, and behold, the cloud covered it, and the glory of the Creator appeared. And Moses and Aaron came before the tabernacle of the congregation. And the Creator spake unto them, Moses, saying, Get you up from among this congregation.
That's the second time he told them.
Get out of here.
That's the second time.
Get up and get out of here.
Now the people ready to kill Moses and Aaron.
Exactly.
The Creator says, yo, back away from these people and let me get with them. Watch, go ahead, read on, please.
That I may consume them as in a moment. And they fell upon their faces. And Moses said unto Aaron, Take a censer, put the fire therein from off the altar, and put on incense, and go quickly unto the congregation, and make an atonement for
the people.
Make an atonement for them. For there is wrath going out from the Creator, and the plague has begun. And Aaron took as Moses commanded, and ran into the midst of the congregation, and behold, the plague was begun among the people, and he put on an incense and made an atonement for the people, and he stood between the dead and the living.
Whoa. A lot of people read this, and they read it too fast to really understand what just took place. So we got to slow down a moment.
Okay.
Now, to the best of your knowledge, what did you just read?
That
start with the Most High got angry.
Okay. Well, Most High got angry, and he told Moses to get him and Aaron away from that congregation. Get out of there. Period. So Moses told Aaron, take an incense and go make an atonement for these people, because
a man getting ready to make atonement for people.
Yes.
Read on.
He said because the wrath is about to come of the Most High, and he said the
plague has already started.
It already started.
So what did that plague that already started? What happened? People started dying.
Right.
Why was they dying though? What did they do to deserve death?
Because they came against Moshe.
They came against the man of the Creator. See, that's what I'm saying. You got to be careful who you speak evil against, because you never know who might be on point. When that lady told me she was a prophetess, I wasn't going to badmouth her.
Right.
Why would I be a fool to act in my ignorance?
Because if she is.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. So I'm real careful. You got to be careful, because you never know how the Most High will punish you for speaking bad about his representatives. You never know how he'll deal with you. You understand? So people started dying. And Moses, in all of his mercy, said, Creator, please have mercy upon my brothers and my sister. Please, Father, have mercy. He said, Aaron, go and appease the Most High. Take off the altar, the incense, and stand where? Listen. Where did he tell him to stand?
Between the dead and the living.
He stood between the dead people and the people that were still alive. He stood, and the death angel couldn't move.
Right.
I mean, you don't understand how powerful this is,
Yes,
man.
I do.
This is some real stuff, man.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
The death angel that was going around slaying the people. When Moshe said, cease, he told Aaron what to do to cause the death angel to stop.
And he stopped.
And he went right out there and stood between the living and the dead. And how many people he saved? Read on, what happened?
Now that they died in the plague were 14,000 and 7,000.
14,000!
Yes, and 700 beside them that died about the matter of Korah.
Now, if Aaron wasn't listening to Moshe, or was one of them stubborn, rebellious Israelite brothers that walked with a leader of the Most High, and he told him to go out there, and he was like, nah, man, why I gotta go do this? You know how y'all get sometimes. Or what makes you think I'm just as good as you?
Right.
What makes you, no, man, do what you're told to do. When the Most High servant speaks, we must listen. We have to learn to listen. That's what the destruction is in the midst of our people today. When Noble Drew Ali came in the 1800s, and he started speaking to the people in the 1900s, people listened to him. They obeyed his voice. And that's how he got to rise to a level of power. He had 45,000 men at a call in the early 1900s because he called them out. 45,000. That's how strong and powerful he was as a black man. Now, some people might say, well, he wasn't doing the works of the Creator. He was. He laid the foundation for a lot of the Israelite movement today. Noble Drew Ali. Read on, please. Marcus Garvey, I'm speaking of. Marcus Garvey.
I know exactly.
Yeah, Marcus Garvey.
And Aaron returned unto Moses, unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the plague was stayed.
And the plague was stayed. Aharon stood before the dead and the living, stood between the dead and the living. And the death angel couldn't move any longer. Couldn't move. Now, you never read that?
No, I'm stuck now. I'm looking at it
That's
like,
a
wow.
powerful chapter.
Yes, it is.
That's Numbers, the 16th chapter. So many things are revealed. This book is awesome, man.
I'm gonna have to highlight this chapter. I like this.
Awesome.
I like this.
And unless you really got a teacher, you'll read over things and you'll read it and you'll never see even, and we didn't even cover to its full potential. We covered a little skimp of it. But this thing is so much magnified through those writings right there in the 16th chapter that so many mystical, magical, wonderful things could be revealed just through that chapter. And we just touched on a few.
Yeah, that was a powerful.
Yes, it was.
Wow.
All right, my brother. You got any questions?
Oh no, I'm fine. Man. I'm gonna write my ones down for next week. So when we're on the ride to New York, I have something for you.
Well, that's where we're gonna be going next week.
Yeah.
Unless some unforeseen things take place. So Shema, get ready because we're coming next week. And if I get a chance to speak, I'm gonna have a wonderful lesson prepared. May the Most High be praised.